well, what is it? Is it?
What do you mean it's too big?
That's what they told me. It's too big. The case was too big.
This is too much money.
Too much money. There's this. Yeah. And I'm like, and I just, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I just said, look, this is either going to be written here or I'm going to hang my shingle somewhere else tomorrow, because I knew there was someone that would take it. And so I think that's the precipice. Everybody has a breaking point. Some are different than others. It could be product offering. It could be the cut that the company's taken and they feel like, it's too egregious. It could be lack of support from a technology standpoint or ease of doing business. Mine got to the point of ease of doing business, and because my goals and visions were so big of what I wanted to do, that it was eye-opening to me when my goal and vision of what I wanted my business to look like was a bigger vision than where I worked. And so that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me.
One of the things that Jeremiah just said that's really strategically important in relationship building is, we've seen this transition in the industry over the last 10 years, but going from a very transactional based model to a more relational, right? Commission is what I earn when I sell or buy something. A fee is what I pay for a service being provided. And one of the things that I recognized in Jeremiah was he was committed to the long game. He wasn't, at no point in time was there any pressure with the family, with a client. It was always, what can I do to serve you? When I say serve you, that doesn't mean like help you financially. It could be, can I come over and help you with something like literally at your house? Is it literally just spending time together, on a porch? And a lot of, we always talk about the little things, but I recognize that he would take the time, effort, and energy to just do the little things, the constant touches to really develop the relationship. And at no point in time, would hurry this thing to where the client felt uncomfortable. And a lot of advisors will not take a long game approach to building long-term relationships with people whose money they don't manage. And that was a key ingredient to the success in more than one occasion. So,
I mean, that's really hard. Depending on your personality, I think it has somewhat to do with that, but thinking about, because then you're really caring about people at another level. And that's just what most advisors, we're not brought up in the space. Like you grew up in the annuity world. I grew up selling life insurance first. It's not relationship, it's transaction and like get it going. Right. And then you move into fee-based. Just when you start to move towards that side of the world, you start to realize like, oh, slow down, caring. And if you've been on the other side for a long time, I think it's just what happened in the industry a lot, right? The independent broker dealer space, the hybrid people, things started to go fiduciary, like fee relationship. And if you're on that other side, that's got to be a really hard move. Like I'm 38 and I've already been in the business 18 years. Like I can't imagine if you've been doing it 40 years or something, and you're trying to make that swap, that's got to be really tough, because it wasn't just that we changed how we got paid. It's how we changed how the whole process worked. Like that's part of the actual mentals of it. It quit being dial for dollars, like an old stockbroker, if you will. It became like, their kids and the sports team, so.
I think a lot of it too has to do with where you live. And I come from a really rural area. I grew up in a rural area in Kansas and live in a rural area in Texas. And everywhere I've lived has been rural. And you can't be an asshole and be in business very long. Like it's just, you just can't. And so I think a lot of times demographics has something to do with it. Seeing people for people instead of a transaction, I think helps. I know it helps. And just just recognizing too that it's almost like a mental game. Because no to me is just, it doesn't mean don't talk to them about it again. It's just not right now. It doesn't mean I'm still not going to talk to you. I'm still going to talk to you about all kinds of other stuff. And the opportunity will always present itself at some point down the road. You just don't know when. And the more lines you have like that in the water, if you're going to be in this business, it's a relational business. You might as well have a lot of relationships. And that's, to me, what makes it fun.
So I need to hear